Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Black Swan's limited Lightcone. Whether you are a person who already made up your mind, you definitely want to get this because it looks amazing, you really love Black Swan, or perhaps you are a player that you want to see whether there's any other options for Black Swan if you don't want to get this, or maybe you're planning to just get this, skip Black Swan and like put it on another character. You want to see whether this is a versatile Lightcone to add to your collection as well. We're going to be talking about all of that in this video, but I personally think the design is excellent, so definitely worth considering. And also the banner is pretty decent. We'll talk about the banner a bit in this video too in terms of value that you get. I want to touch on that as well. But now let's go in first with the thing where we are always interested in is of course the subject of the video. We're not going to waste time. That's not what this channel is about. We have 582 on the base attack of this Lightcone. We will go into the game engine and compare it to the rest of them, but I just want you to take note 582. I'll mention it again, not to worry. So the Lightcone's ability Crystallize increases effect hit rate by 40%, which benefits Black Swan directly because she converts effect hit rate basically into like damage percentage up to a certain amount. So if you don't feel like running maybe effect hit rate gear, you can always switch out for this Lightcone, and then you can run like attack percentage or energy restoration, link rope, whichever you prefer. When the wearer deals damage to an enemy inflicted with wind shear, burn, shock, or bleed, they will individually, that means for themselves, gain 1 stack of profit. It stacks up to 4 times, and you can't have like multiple sources of wind shear building these stacks of profit. You need to have like wind shear, procs 1, burn, procs 1, shock, procs 1, and bleed, procs 1. So that's how you build your 4. You need 4 different types. Out of all characters in the game, I think Black Swan is the only one that procs all 4, based on her whole kit in general. But I'll be sharing with you some ways you can actually proc some of these, even though you don't even have any nihility characters on the team as well. And of course, it has to do with like certain builds that we can go for. But a little bit on that when we go into the game engine in a moment. In a single battle, each type of DOT can generate 1 stack of profit. Okay, so that's what I was mentioning about. And each stack of profit increases the wearer's attack by 5%, so up to 20% if you have 4 stacks. And the DOT they deal will ignore 7.2% of target's defense. This goes up, of course, to 28.8% if you get all 4 stacks. It's quite a massive defense ignore, if you ask me. Very, very strong on her. Of course, you can't use it for other nihility characters like Well and Pella because this is only specific for DOT. Now, before we go like directly into the game engine, I want to talk about the other Lightcones, which is why I think certain of you like sitting on the fence. The value of this Lightcone here is going to be super, super high. Not only do you get a free new Lightcone here, or in the banner 4-star, limited 4-star, I take it back, it's not free because most of us will likely be not able to get the one that we are looking for, but the other two are also really strong. So in Indeletable Promise, this one gives the wearer break effect of 28% when the wearer uses out increases their crit rate by 15%, lasting for 2 turns. So it's a very nice Lightcone, 4-star Lightcones that gives crit. I think that a lot of the other characters in the game do want a bit of crit for destruction characters, because currently I think can only be found in like either killing a target or maybe in the 5-star Lightcone. So this at least gives a bit more consistency if you're looking for crit for a destruction DPS. Characters that might work well on this could be Arlen, it could be Xue, it might work quite well with this Indeletable Promise, since most of them might be using like Secret Vow or something like that. So that is for that. The other 2 Lightcones on this banner is also tons of value. Resolution Shines of Pearls of Sweat, in my mind, is like S tier, one of the top Lightcones in the game. It gives defense shred. It stacks, this one goes all the way up to 18% at like super in position 1. Stacks with other defense down as well. I think this is S tier value. Dance, this is definitely like S tier value as well. When you use your out, all actions are advanced forward by 16%. So if you are just looking to maybe pull, you get S5 dance, you get S5 Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat. I think it's already a huge win, even if you unfortunately do not get the banner Lightcone. But then again, it's up to you. It's your account after all. But now we talked about value, we talked about this Lightcone. Let's go into the game engine and see which other characters I think can use this Lightcone, and then we will talk about whether Black Swan needs this Lightcone or can she use anything else. Okay, so basically all of the characters that can use this Lightcone are your DOT characters in the game, like Kafka, like Sampo, Gui Naifen, as well as Luca right now in version 1.6. Of course, there are other characters will be released in future, and some of them have burn here and there or some DOT, but they have to be nihility characters in order to benefit from the Lightcone because it's only same type. out of all of them, I think the character that will benefit from it most likely will be Sampo, if you are building him for a bit more damage. And the reason for that is because if you are going into, if you are trying to proc all 4, so maybe like Sampo and Luca, because he procs bleed, he is wind shear, and in the game now you can actually get the other 2 sources from any other unit if you use the right Lightcone. So for example, burn can be found from this Lightcone here, Trend of Universal Market. You get the burn that procs an enemy, so any of your preservation characters, if you have this lying around, they can become basically a DOT character to help you build stacks on your enemies too. So that is one way. Burn is like not very critical, you can put it on a lot of characters. You can find it from here. The other one, if any of you are currently in 1.6 and have pulled Kafka's Lightcone, I think this is tremendously good because it allows you to proc this shock ability, which basically helps you check another box on that 2 DOTs that you have, which means all you need now is like wind shear and bleed to get the full stacks. This of course can be slapped onto most nihility characters. As you see, is a very generic like damage increase, speed increase. It doesn't really like buff DOT damage whatsoever. So super generic, versatile Lightcone. Patience is all you need. So that is my commentary for the rest of them. But I guess now a lot of us will probably be like, yeah, it's a pretty decent Lightcone, good value on a lot of accounts, can be used for other characters and stuff like that. But how good exactly is it for Black Swan? Is there any like other alternative Lightcones for her? You know we don't waste time, so I just want to give you straight to the point. I think my preference is patience is all you need over Black Swan's signature Lightcone. In terms of maximizing Black Swan's single, like her own damage, I think the new Lightcone is definitely going to be a lot better. Effect hit rate gives her what she needs, helps you build your stats, it gives you that defense ignore and attack buffing. But if you think about it in terms of a resource allocation game stretching out over time, like if you're planning to play for 1-2 years, you don't know whether you're going to play Black Swan all the way, patience is all you need is actually a much more versatile Lightcone because it can be used by any nihility character. If you're forking out $200 already for Black Swan, or maybe thereabouts, and you have to pay like even more money for this, you want to get something that gets your money worth it. And that's why I think patience is all you need. It's slightly more versatile, can be used for other characters, it's best in slot for Kafka too. Super good because of any character, any nihility character can become a shock wielder basically. So that is for this. The other reasons why I think it's like super wasted is because the signature Lightcone is good and all, but your free to play options like Fermata is okay too. If you have this here, you get some break effect here and there, some increased damage here. You have Eyes of Prey here, who have S5 gives you the same amount of effect hit rate and a massive amount of DOT increase. So you get damage increase here, of course, but the other one gives you like 28% defense ignore. It has higher base stats and also like some damage attack buffing from the other one. But this is still pretty decent for if you don't plan to like fork out $200. Eyes of Prey will be a pretty decent alternative for her as well. You have Good Night Sleep Well that increases the damage by 72%. If any of you who are looking for this one, the Good Night Sleep Well is also a very good alternative. 476 attack. Patience is all you need, and we just mentioned that with the same amount of attack, so there's no difference for the 5 stars. And if any of you lucky ones you got this during the event, this also gives you 40% effect hit rate, and you give her like even better energy restoration, which could actually help certain builds too, with 476 attack. In my opinion, the banner itself is not very ideal. I don't think it's like super good for the 5-star Lightcone. It's the value that you get from the new 4-star Lightcones that make it a bit higher up in terms of priority, and that is my honest review so far. If you're interested in my other thoughts, do check out our other videos on Black Swan already. And guys, thank you so much for subscribing, liking and watching this video to the end. See you in the next video.